All right, so we have this contraption up here, which is a light, a fan. This switch over here is called a three-way switch because that switch controls this device. This switch controls that device. So it's a three-way switch. First, I turned off the circuit breaker in the basement. I don't have one of those things to test if the power's off, but I tested it here and it is off. Took off the plate. Then I took off, there was 2 screws on the plate. Then there's 2 other screws behind that I took off. In a perfect world, these wires here would be longer and I'd have more room to work, but I kind of have to get back there. I don't have much room to work. Whoever did this prior didn't leave me much room. But this is the ground wire. I believe this is the power wire. It's a black one. And then these 2, I forget what they're called, transitional switches that connect them basically. So my goal is to take this switch off by disconnecting all of those wires by first loosening these screws, taking it off, and then the goal is to replace each of those 2 switches with the new switch, or the new switches. So I don't know if you can see in here, I think this was the power one. I'm just going to put it back the same way that I found it. This was the ground, and these 2, I forget what they're called again, I have to look it up, but are the other ones. So there's 4 in there, and they're going to be hooked the same way the other one was to the new switch. Should be easy, we'll see. I'm not that handy, but I've been figuring out stuff a little better recently, so we'll see. All right, I'm back. This took a lot longer than it should have, but bottom line is I put those same 4 wires back in the same spot. I had to throw out my gum. My wife doesn't like hearing me chew gum. I had to kind of get around this plant, which was a little annoying, get a flashlight because I couldn't see. And the bottom line is all of these should be on there fairly secure. This one in the top left, it's coming around over the top, so I think I'm good. I like it to be under there a little bit better. But bottom line is, I don't even know if this is the problem why the light's flickering. I'm assuming it is, unless we need a whole new fixture up there or something. But I'm going to switch both of these. The first one's just about done. I'm going to put on the light cover, and we'll go on to the second one. So I put the plate cover back on, the screws back on, didn't do them overly tight, but tight enough. Remember, right under here, that other metal plate had the 2 screws, the same screws you took off. You had to put that back on there secure. I think that's pretty straight. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Do I know this is going to fix the flickering light or the fan going on sporadically? I don't know, but I have a 78% chance that it will do the trick. Onto the second switch, same thing. I'm going to take these 2 screws off, take the plate cover off. Sometimes if you peen around these, it's tough to get that plate cover off. So I had to pry just a little bit. I think there's tools you can use. I just used the flathead screwdriver to get it off. Similar situation with the other one. I don't really have a lot of room to play. I thought I would have a little bit more. Maybe this is standard. I'm not sure. But I'm going to take all of those wires off. There's 4 of them. And then I'm going to reconnect them. I just got done unscrewing these 2. So you take the plate switch off and then you take these 2 off for the inside bracket there. So this one up here was really around there tight. And again, I wish these wires were tight a bit longer. Maybe they're not supposed to be, but I finally got the top one off. Really, these were kind of hard to get off a little bit, but you can take the whole screw out if you need to, because again, you're not going to need this switch. But anyway. So this right here, you can see these wires. The top right one is the ground. The top left one is the power, and then the other 2 are what connects the switches. But as long as you put them back the same way you took them off, you should be good. What I did here is connect the top parts halfway, and then I'm going to tighten the top first. It took me a while on the other one, and then do the bottom ones. All right, so I got the wires around the switch in all areas. I'm putting this plate back on, and then I'm going to put the switch cover back on, or I'm sorry, the plate, and then we're going to test it. So I made my daughter pasta. I did something in between, and I put back the old switch. And then it took me 5 minutes to figure out which one was the new switch to make sure I did put in the wrong one, because they were both pretty clean. But anyway, I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. But anyway, so I hooked all these wires up again. I put this plate back on. I'm going to put it all back together, and I'm going to test it. We'll see. All right, it's back on. Both of them are done, both switches, and then we'll see what happens. See if everything works once I turn the power back on. Also, I'm sure it'll work, the lights, but if it's still flickering, I don't know. Maybe I'll need an electrician, or we'll need a new fixture, because that fixture was not that expensive. We wanted one with light and a fan, so it could be the fixture instead of the switch, but we'll see. So I turned the power back on. I turned the light back on, and it did flicker, which sometimes that's what happens before every 30 minutes or 20 minutes. It'll keep flickering, and then it'll go good. But maybe it was just because it took power time to get back to the fixture once I turned it back on. So it's been on for a minute or two now. We'll give it a half hour, over the next day or two, see if it flickers again. But the light switches have been fixed, and I'm pretty sure I did everything correctly. So we'll see. If not, maybe it's another problem, like the light fixture itself.